thing before we head out here. Thank you for the sub, who just came in with the subarino there. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Devin Art. Thank you very much. And I don't know if we're gonna get T-Pain in here for an interview. I mean, it's been something we've been trying to get to happen for a while. It just hasn't come together. It'll happen at some point. But okay. So here's the latest thing, guys, that I would like your opinion on, like your thoughts on. There's been a lot of discussion around the internet campfire, obviously, about NFTs, non-fungible tokens. It can take many forms, but at least, for the purpose of this conversation, we're talking about pieces of visual, illustrative art, which, you can purchase online with crypto through the blockchain, and it is shown, or it's proven, that you own that art because, you're given a certain, I guess, like, code or whatever that's specific to that NFT that you've purchased. And I guess, ultimately that ends up being the proof ultimately that you own it. Though I guess, like, in some instances, you can own, I guess, like the NFT of a piece of art, but you may not even like technically own the copyright or the rights to it. I mean, in some instances you are buying the rights along with the art. In some instances you're not. So it is a little odd. And they do seem to be generating a lot of interest, a lot of controversy, and especially a lot of money right now. As, there are people within these communities that are trading illustrations of, a lot of different things, but even specifically these apes over here, from the Bored Ape Yacht Club, for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, being the aged millennial, or, in other words, boomer that I am, there is something about it that does kind of remind me of like back in the day, because, in the 90s and the late 80s, there was a lot of culture around collectibles, and a lot of the collectible culture that you even see today is like based around that culture. And when I'm talking about that, I mean like, baseball cards, Pogs, Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering cards, Garbage Pail Kids cards. I had those. I'm trying to think of like what else, comic books and Mad magazines. I loved collecting Mad magazines. So, like I definitely remember like very vividly collectible culture and in involving myself in it as well, and enjoying it and enjoying collecting things that I was really passionate about. And I think like the magic of that has been a little lost in the digital age with things like, and obviously I collect records as well, fucker. So, but I think some of the magic of that has been kind of lost in the digital age, with like a majority of the media that we consume existing as like mere ones and zeros, as opposed to it, presenting itself in some kind of like physical way. And I think in a way NFTs do try to like, bring that back. And, not to sort of like, suck the concept of, NFTs, dicks or anything. But, if there's a community of people that want to like, trade pictures of fucking monkeys for money or whatever the hell else, because that's like their interest or their little club or whatever. I mean, I guess that's fine. I guess like, in a way there's no harm in that, though, the environmental concerns that come up through NFTs and crypto and so on and so forth are, definitely concerning. Entirely not the fault of the technology, because, it ultimately is really the issue that we haven't adapted the fucking power grid to something that's like green or sustainable. But still, it would be nicer if it didn't, I guess, like suck up so much energy with like the crypto mining and all that bullshit. What if you like these pictures of these monkeys so much, why can't you just like trade the fucking monkey pictures for money, actual money? But whatever. So, look, you guys are probably familiar with the NFT shit and the crypto shit at this point, but now it's kind of like transitioning over into the music world. And look, there have been instances of music NFTs up until this point, but what we're talking about here is that now Universal has signed to a contract or is planning to launch commercially a band that is, I guess, consisting of real people, but all of those people in that band are going to be represented by these avatars. Has everyone in chat seen these avatars? Like, has everyone in chat seen these Bored Ape Yacht Club pictures all over social media? Has everyone seen these or like not familiar with these? But like, if you couldn't tell, if you go on the Bored Ape, site where they're selling these, these pictures and stuff, basically it's like, at its base, a very basic image of this Bored Ape. And then beyond that, they sort of like offer a bunch of variants of this one fucking illustration of this ape, where sometimes like, in the top middle picture here, you have a bunch of like variants of this ape with that mouth shape. If you look in the top right, there are a bunch of variants of, the ape, but with like that sailor's hat. I believe Jimmy Fallon just recently announced that he's on like the Bored Ape Yacht Club bandwagon with a photo of his own ape avatar, and it had the same exact fucking sailor's hat. But the difference is that his ape was like a different color and had like heart-shaped glasses and shit. So it's like all these apes, or the singular image of an ape, is sort of sold to people over and over and over and over again, just through a series of like very simple foreground, background, and physical variations and manipulations, which to me, I feel like is about the cheapest and most, I guess, like grifty way that you can generate, sell, and, I guess like profit off of art. Because at that point, it doesn't even really feel like art. It just kind of feels like it's an algorithmically generated piece of like trendy bullshit. It's again, it's not so much art as much as it's like Beanie Babies. Because, no matter what Beanie Baby you get, they're all like, the same size and have the same beans in them and have like a lot of the same eyes and head shapes. But like some of them have like slight features that make them look like a dog or a cat or a unicorn or a this or a that. So, again, it's like they're just kind of like selling the same picture over and over and over. But a bunch of the apes have a certain shirt. A bunch of the apes have a certain fur color. A bunch of the apes have melting skin. A bunch of the apes have other weird things about them that, again, just kind of makes this thing seem like less art and more like an accidental array of randomly generated, physical features, some of which when I look at these pictures are like truly shit and like really bad and ugly and hideous. Bored Ape Yacht Club. Bored Ape Yacht Club. I saw a bunch of these the other day that looked like absolutely terrible. This one in the top right over here with the eyes coming out. So this is an interesting variation because I keep seeing these eyes bulging out of the ape's head. But whenever I'm like scrolling through some of these variants and finding pictures of the apes, buy an ape on OpenSea. Here we go. Let's look at this abortion. Whenever I see apes with that variation, with the eyes bulging out, if they're wearing a hat, the hat is blocking the eyes coming out and you can't even see the fucking eyes. It looks awful. Yeah, so again, as I was saying, like it's all these apes and they're just like printed over and over and over with like the same features. This is exactly what I'm fucking talking about. Who wants this? This is ugly as fuck. Aesthetically, this is trash. Who wants this photo of this ape with stubble on its face and eyes bulging out of its head, but the eyes are stuck under the brim of the cowboy hat it's wearing? and the ape is blue and it's wearing a Phoebe Bridgers like skeleton ribcage shirt. Like, exactly. It's just like bullshit, algorithmically made, mass produced art that isn't even, again, art. It's just like randomly generated bullshit. Look, I'm not really arguing anything here other than like aesthetically, this is trash. If you're like super into this and this is like your thing, an ape with a biker chain helmet, eye patch, and toga, if that's your vibe, then that's your vibe. Like this variant with the ape with its eyes closed and like the quarters in its eyes also looks like trash. Yeah, I mean, again, like aesthetically, a lot of this stuff just looks like shit. Tears welling in its eyes. This ape's about to go to war. He got drafted with his motorcycle helmet and his, ribbon of bullets he's wearing across his chest. Whatever. I'm not going to dive too much deeper into this. I'll leave it there to say that, again, Universal Music has signed or put on a band of people who I guess are now just being represented by these ape avatars. So, as some people in chat already said, and as I have said on social media, basically gorillas but shit. Because, as of right now, all that we know about this band, as is reported here and on other places as well, Kingship will launch under UMG's 10/22 p.m. label, who have reportedly hired a team of crypto artists and animators to turn the virtual ape avatars into a band. So yeah, just like gorillas, but shit. Bloomberg reports that Kingship will perform and feature in video games, VR applications, and the metaverse, so on fucking Facebook. 10:22 p.m. boss Celine Joshua said of the group, "You can call it an NFT band or think of them as characters. The characters will come to life. The apes will come to life." The piece also states that each virtual ape from Kingship will have its own identity, and 10:22 p.m. are currently planning a campaign to tell each of their stories as a way to introduce the group to potential fans. Kingship's characters are taken from the Bored Ape Yacht Club, a collection of NFTs belonging to Jimmy McNeil's, which is funny that you're paying all this money for the NFTs, but Jimmy McNeil still owns them, or they still kind of belong to them, or maybe just like the intellectual property of the brand itself, they mean. Who recently sold a golden ape NFT for $3.4 million. According to OpenSea Marketplace, Kingship's own golden ape is worth approximately $190,000 at current prices. I mean, look, it just sort of goes to show at the end of the day, like, things are worth. We have a perception of like the worth of things and the value of things. Things are worth whatever people will pay for them. If you have a question in your mind as to how much something is worth, ask yourself how much people will pay for it. If people will, you could look at a piece of shit, which we were just looking at some pieces of shit. You could look at a piece of shit and look, if somebody buys that piece of shit for $190,000, that piece of shit is worth $190,000 because that's what that person paid for it. And, keep in mind, though, it's only worth that if there's somebody else out there who's willing to continue paying for that. And it works just like stocks, like if nobody's willing to buy a stock, and if people sell the stock, and again, from there, nobody's willing to pick it up and purchase it, the stock is valueless. It's worth nothing. So, I digress there. So look, all we know about this band is that they're represented by these ape pictures, and they're going to come to life, and there's going to be a team of animators and this and that. We have no idea what the fuck the music is going to sound like. Is it going to be a rock band, a hip-hop band, a abstract electronic group? We really have no idea, but like, I don't know, man. I'm willing to put money, not real money, crypto money, okay? I'm willing to put I'm willing to put 1 million Fantano coin on when Kingship eventually drops music. It's gonna suck fucking ass. So it most likely will suck ass and aesthetically be as shit as the gorillas that kind of front it. But who knows? Given like all the money going into this, they may just have like the bucks to pay some like really great writers and producers to, pull all of this together and make it something that sounds professional grade. There are even TikTok stars out there that are making like, industry grade music because they're hiring the right producers and connecting with the right people. With all the money kind of flowing through this Bored Ape shit right now, I have no doubt that they could probably afford to hire the right people. But I guess, it's still a matter of whether or not the music and the art and the ideas, will they be there? And, given the art and the ideas kind of, in the premise of this right now are kind of crap, I'm not hoping for much. What about chat right now? How is chat generally, vibing with this idea? Is it bad that I low key want it to succeed? Yes, it is. You should feel ashamed of that. But honestly, like as funny as I think that attitude is, I think there's honestly a chance that it could. I think like the music may end up being crap. The music may end up being really mediocre. But honestly, like it could be the biggest fucking thing since like sliced bread. When it eventually comes out, it could ultimately succeed. With that being said, there have been like some successes, but also issues in the past when it's come to trying to release music with, I guess, like, more of a cartoon or, obviously like Gorillaz is a success, but, there's like tons of like hologram pop artists and Vocaloid shit and stuff like that. And while that stuff is popular, it does only seem to go so far. I think ultimately it's going to take a lot to kind of build up the mystique around this band and the visuals around this band to the point where it really like engages people in the same way that an actual music group would. You know what I mean? So I think there's potential there. It could succeed. It could go crazy commercially. And if it does, it will. If it does, it will. I think there's a chance of it. But the chance that like a classic record is going to come out of this shit, I don't know about that. You think the Ape stuff will be dead in a month? With this trendy collectible stuff, there is that potential, Look, there was a point in time where Beanie Babies were worth loads and loads and loads of fucking money. But like the interest in Beanie Babies just like kind of dropped overnight and just people weren't buying that shit anymore. NFTs suck. What sucks more is how hard they'll continue to push and make this a thing, and you can get stuck with it and effectively, have our planet. Yeah, no, it's true. I don't disagree. No apes are blue chip NFTs. I'm a Furby fan myself. Yeah, the Furby trend. Yeah, that was another kind of collectible trend. Is this the reason why Best Buy stopped selling CD albums not too long ago? Maybe. Good analogy for NFTs. I think we'll see a similar drop before the decade ends. Yeah, it's potentially there. At least for the Bored Ape stuff, I think like with NFTs, what we may see is like not so much a disappearance of NFTs as a concept or as a thing, because I think cryptos are going to continue to be a thing and continue to have like a lot of cultural sway and impact, unless maybe it's like, regulated out the ass to the point where there's almost no point in getting involved in it. But, again, with all that being said, I think what we may end up seeing is not so much a disappearance of NFTs, but like rather a series of like really dumb, trendy, hoaxy, silly little, concepts like this one that get repeated over and over and over. Like, for a year, it's going to be 8 pictures, then one day it may be just like a bunch of weird randomized algorithmically generated pictures of tanks. Who the fuck knows? RIP Young Dolph. Absolutely. NFT Twitch clips. Yeah, possibly. Maybe some NFTs will hold value and others won't. Yeah. That's a possibility as well. Tech bros will find a way. Video games will be a main adaptation for NFTs, possibly. I would buy melon coin. You know, maybe one day there will be a melon coin. We'll see. Melon coin, Fantano coin, Light 6 coin. I'm not ruling it out entirely.